Hello and welcome to the Ibless Actors tutorial. The project name is Ibless. The team member is Luis Miguel Carrillo, and the roles Scrum Master and Team Member. Let me begin by talking about the first actor, the guest user. The guest user is able to register on the system by clicking on Not a User. Let's submit some unique information. After submitting all information and clicking on Register, the user is notified and moved to Login. Here, the user can log in using the previous credentials. Also, the user can recover a lost password by providing an email. Let's provide the email of another account. The user is notified and the email is received. Let me show you that email. The email contains instructions on how to recover the account. Once clicked, the user is presented with a screen where to input the new password. Let's input new password. The user is notified that the password was changed successfully and that is going to be moved back to login. This concludes the presentation for the guest user. Let me continue by talking about the basic user. Now that new is registered on the system, new is able to log in, and new is considered a basic user. What can a basic user do? First of all, the basic user is presented with a user management screen, in which he or she can see all the information regarding the user. Also, the basic user is able to see his status on the logout string. The basic user can also change basic information, such as the first name. Let's put that this user is called Juan, and the last name is Caraballo. The user is notified of the change, and when going back to user management, he or she can see the change. Another important feature of the basic user is that they can register on the system. Let's provide a company name. New company 123. An address. A type. A subscription type. A website. And click submit. After clicking submit, the user is going to be moved back to buying dialog. In this dialog, the user is going to insert all information regarding the credit card. This dialog is being presented by Chargify. Let's submit test information. After submitting all information with the asterisk, the user clicks Place My Order. And here the user is able to see that the credit card was expired. The user changes the situation and clicks Place My Order. Afterward, the system notifies the user that the payment was successfully charged and that now he is a subscriber. This concludes the presentation for the basic user. Let me talk about the subscriber. Now that the user has become a subscriber, he is able to access new features of the website, such as credit hierarchy, select vibration, and check SPL values. There is another feature, but it's hidden, because it depends on create hierarchy. Therefore, let's create a hierarchy. Create hierarchy is so that companies can recreate their hierarchy in the system. Let's suppose that this company is McDonald's and they have managers. They create a manager role. Can create users is so that any other user of this type can behave as you in the sense of creating users. Let's say that a manager can create users. Also, let's create an employee role who won't be able to create users. Then go to create user, and here you can create accounts for your employees. Let's suppose that this employee is called Mac Manager. Employee ID is a field for the company. Let's suppose that in McDonald's this employee has an ID of 100. The first name, Miami, email. It has to be a real email because the password is going to be sent to this email. For the sake of this tutorial, this is not going to be of importance. So let's use any email. The phone number is also important because the system depends on the phone number, but for the sake of this tutorial, this won't really matter. So let's use any phone number. As you can see, the manager and employee are listed on the user type, and no parent is listed. Let's click Submit. Now Miami, Florida, the new user, has been registered under this company account. Let's create a new user. Of the employee type. So, as you can see, different types can be created. Also, another feature is that groups can be created by using the parent feature. By clicking on the blue label, users are able to delete, modify, or make the user active or inactive. Before deleting, let's modify this user. Let's say that we want this user to answer to the previous user. We click on parent and select the ID of the previous user. Now the parent is registered as Miami, Florida. Let's say that this user is going on a vacation and we don't want this user to be logging on the service. In order to disallow that, we click on active. Now the user is inactive. When trying to log in onto iOS, they won't be able to. They will be notified with a string saying that the user account is inactive. Simply, by clicking on inactive again, the user account is made active and the user can resume normal operations. If the user account is terminated, you can click on delete in order to delete all information about the user. Let me show you another feature of Create Hierarchy. As in the previous example, Create Hierarchy has the same facilities. When clicking on the blue label, you can modify the information, delete the information, or insert new information. Let me show you the select vibration screen. Before talking about the inputs, let me tell you the reason for this screen. The purpose of select vibration is so that companies can establish ranges of action. Let's say that a user has reported an SPL value of 5. Normally, the system has no answer for that. This depends on companies' policies. Let's create a range from 1 to 10, and since this is a low range, let's set the low value. We submit, and now we have a rule for this range. Let's create a range from 70 to 95. This is a really high range. Let's submit fast alert. This depends a lot on check-SPL values. So before explaining this, let me just talk about the features available on this screen. When clicking on the blue label, you can delete or modify the information, as usual. If you want to make the range 75 as a low bound, you can do so. Or if you want the high range to be 15, you can also do so. You can even modify the vibration setting to make it fast alert. For the last feature, I have logged into a different account that already has SPL values registered under the SPL table. Let's go to the SPL table. There are two readings, one from user Mario Santillana and one from user P. These are 6 and 5. The company account has a rule for these readings, from 5 to 7. So when clicking Notify Safety Managers, SMS are going to be sent to the respective parents of these users, stating that the users are in the range established by the company, and a vibration setting is going to be sent back to the phone. This vibration setting is so that the Android application knows what vibration pattern the company wants that specific user to use. In this case, the vibration setting we are sending is called low. Had the SPL value been 102, the vibration setting would have been fast alert, which is the strongest one. Let me talk about the employee actor. The employee actor is one that is created by the subscriber. In the previous screen, I showed you that in the create user feature, you will be able to create new users, and these users will be able to access the system. This is a user of such type. The type is employee, which means that the user has been registered under a company account. P is of manager type, so that he can behave as a subscriber in the sense of creating users. Also, the user management account lists all information about this user, which is more extensive than the basic information. As normal, the user can change the first name and last name. And if the user is allowed to create users, he can do so. Let's say that we want to modify the information of this user. The information has been changed. Android application. The Android application is an actor who is using the Android device of TrackTouch Mobile. Since I don't have the Android device right now, let me use an emulator. For this emulator, we're going to use Visual Studio. The Android device can use these different web services. Since I was talking about the SPL values a moment ago, let me show you the registered SPL web service. The Android device is going to give a valid user ID, in this case the ID corresponding to user Mario Santillana. Let's submit 102 as SPL, some GPS, some weather, wind speed, and then with direction. Click Invoke, And this string represents the string I was talking a minute ago. The user is going to get back this string, and the phone is going to set the information of the vibration pattern to this one. Also, the safety manager, which is the same as saying the parent of the group, is going to receive a text message stating that user, called Mario Santillán in this case, has surpassed the safety DBA value. All information about the user will be listed on the text message. Let me show you another service. For example, excessive sessions. This service only depends on the user ID. When invoking it, a text message is going to be sent to the parent stating that the user has surpassed the limit of 5 sessions per hour. These are some of the features available to the Android application. Some of the other features are BLE device connected in order to state that the vibration device has been connected to the phone. BLE device disconnected so that the user can notify the system when the vibration device has been disconnected. Forgot password, so that users can retrieve the password by getting an email address, then login so that the Android application can get all information about the account. Register user, so that users can register in the system by using the Android application. Reset password, so that users can reset their password in the same manner as in the normal system. Set BLE information, so that the vibration device can be registered. And set phone information, so that we get all phone information from that user. This concludes the Android application tutorial. Finally, the last actor on the system, universal user. The universal user is going to have access to analytics. Here, the user logs in. In this case, we are logging in with the root account. Afterwards, this screen is presented to the user. The user clicks on Analytics, and you can see that there is a company, which is the company where Mario Santillán and P belong. But before going into that, let me talk about these graphs. Here, we can see information about the last subscriptions. Yesterday, there were 2 subscriptions. Today, there was 1 subscription. Then, we have information about the amount of users with OSHA and NIOSH. Also, amount of users with different type of subscriptions, such as silver, black, and bronze. You can filter this information by clicking in any of these. Let's suppose that you only wanted information about the bronze users. You click on bronze, and the only information you see is the one regarding to bronze. 8 bronze users have selected OSHA, 2 bronze users have selected NIOSH. Let's say that you don't want to see this information anymore. You click on the trash can. The same can happen to silver or black, or to dates. Let's say that you only want to see information regarding this date. Now let's move to company. In the company screen, the users are going to be able to see all information about the SPL tables and user tables of this account. In this situation, we have Mario and Masud. which is the same as P. Remember that we changed the username. Sorry, I meant the first name. Let's say that we want all information about this date. We click on the date and wait for the system. Then we get extra information about the day we selected, and we can further divide this into different dates. Let's say that now you only wanted to see information about Northeast. You can do so by clicking on Northeast. Now we only see information about Northeast, which in this case is only one entry. Let's say that you want to remove this information. You don't want the date, you only want information about Northeast. And now you only want information that